Buduruwagala, and this beautiful place is called Buduruwagala. Buduruwa means the statue of the Buddha. The middle statue is the statue of the Buddha, and the Gala means the rock. So Buduruwagala means the statue of the Buddha carved on the rock. Village and the lake recognized by the same name called Buduruwagala. And related to this, it's very strange that there are no excavations being done. You can see this is the normal environment. Since there are no excavations, nothing has been found to prove the exact history. So it is the belief of the archaeological expert. According to the expert, they suggest these statues should belong to 7th or 9th centuries AD. So the statues are over 1,200 years old according to their suggestions. And there you can see 7 statues, and they believe these statues may have been done by the king called Wellawaya. King Wellawaya was a very special king in the Sri Lankan history, and he was doing the kingdom in the first ancient capital called Anuradhapura. Anuradhapura is in the north central part of the country. When he was doing the kingdom, according to the history, there was a huge invasion by the South Indians. Because of this invasion, after a fight, king had to withdraw from the kingdom and stayed hidden for 14 years time different parts of the country. During this 14 years of hiding period, this place is believed one place the king had been. So this is how the archaeological expert relayed the story to the king Wellawaya. So the king Wellawaya was the one who was believed to have done these statues, and there we can see 7 statues created on the rock face. And these statues have been created according to the Mahayana teaching. Because in the Buddhist philosophy, we know that there are 3 teaching methods. They are called Mahayana, Theravada and Vajrayana. 3 methods. Now these statues belong to the method called Mahayana. Mahayana means the big vehicle or great vehicle. This is the method which is very popular at the moment in the Buddhist world. Countries like China, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, most of the Buddhist countries practice this method. Even though this is the main method which is practiced, very well practiced in the Buddhist world, here in Sri Lanka this method is not so popular, because in Sri Lanka we practice the second method. It is called Theravada. Theravada means the teaching method of the elderly people. So between these 2 teaching methods there are some differences. I will share with you some of the differences, then you can have an idea about the differences between the 2 teaching methods. So in the Mahayana teaching, they mainly believe, these are the differences, they mainly believe anyone can become a Buddha. They say in the Mahayana teaching, if someone practiced the Buddhist philosophy in this life, someday in the reincarnation process, it is called circle of samsara in the Buddhist philosophy. In this circle of samsara, the human state is a privilege. In this privileged life, if we practice the Buddhist philosophy, someday in the same circle of samsara, one can become a Buddha. It says in the Mahayana teaching, anyone can become a Buddha. There is a chance for everyone to become a Buddha. This is the Mahayana belief. This is not the same in the second method, the way we practice in Sri Lanka, because the second method clearly says no one can become a Buddha so easily. It's very difficult. If there is a person who is willing to become the Buddha, there are 2 conditions the person should have accomplished. First requirement, or the first condition which to be accomplished by the person, that he should have been blessed or permitted by a previous Lord Buddha. That's the first condition. After being blessed or permitted, he should still travel in the circle of samsara, spending different life stages. In each of these different life stages, he should engage in good activities and collect merit. Merit is the second requirement. If there is a person who has accomplished these 2 requirements, according to the second method, he can become a Buddha. So the story of the last Lord Buddha was the same, because the last Lord Buddha had been blessed by the 4th Lord Buddha according to the history, and after being blessed, he was traveling in the circle of samsara, spending different life stages. In each of these different life stages, he was doing a special sacrifice, and through this way he was collecting lots of merits. In his circle of samsara, at the last birth, he became the Prince Siddhartha, and he attained the enlightenment at the age of 35. He became the Buddha for 45 years. Even now we are following the last Lord Buddha's philosophy. Sorry. So it says in the Theravada teaching, not easy to become a Buddha, but the Mahayana teaching says anyone can become a Buddha. This is the first difference. And the second difference, it says in the Mahayana teaching, while they practice the Mahayana teaching, if the monks who are practicing the Mahayana teaching wish to have a family life, it says in the Mahayana teaching, there is a possibility for these monks to have a family life. This belief is also very different in the Theravada teaching, because the Theravada teaching, the way we practice in Sri Lanka, clearly indicates that if a person enters to the monkhood, the person should spend a single life without having a family. So all the monks in Sri Lankan temples, they are single, and they spend a very simple lifestyle. In this simple lifestyle, they don't want to beautify the body using artificial stuffs. Because it says with the birth we have a certain beauty. This is your beauty and this is my beauty. This is the unique appearance we have with the birth. This is the beauty we have to appreciate. Other than that, trying to beautify the body using artificial stuff is a useless effort, because this is a body which is being aged day by day, second by second. The life is coming to an end. So since they are already monks, they know what the truth, and they don't want to find, they don't want to beautify the body using artificial stuff. They prefer to spend a simple and a single life, because When they enjoy a single life, they have the freedom to practice and engage in the Buddhist philosophy deeper and deeper. Because it says when we have a family, we have attachment, responsibilities, cravings, desire. It says there are lots of things around the family. When we have a family, we don't have much time to think about ourselves. So it says in the Theravada teaching, it's better to stay single and a simple lifestyle. So all the monks are single in Sri Lankan temples, but the Mahayana teaching says if they wish, they can have a family. That's the second difference. And the third difference, it says in the Mahayana teaching, there are special beings called Bodhisattvas. You can see there are 6 smaller statues. These 6 smaller statues are called Bodhisattvas. Bodhisattva is a Sanskrit word. Bodhi means the awakening, waking up, or being enlightened up to some level. And the Bodhisattva means the awakened souls. Souls who have been through the Buddhist philosophy and who have reached to a certain standard in the Buddhist philosophy. It says in the Mahayana teaching, these awakened souls can assist others to find a state called Nirvana. So according to the Mahayana teaching, these are like guides. These beings are like guides. They can assist others to find a state called Nirvana. So this belief is also very different in the Theravada teaching, because the Theravada teaching says there are no special beings who can guide or direct us to a state called Nirvana. If we want, this is an individual journey. If we want to find the reality in life, we have to practice our own. When we practice the Buddhist philosophy, we have to practice meditation. Meditation is more than 50%. When we practice meditation, we try to connect with the mind. The mind is inside us. So that's why it says in the Theravada teaching, no one will be able to change our mind the way we want if we don't want. So we should feel we need it, we should feel it's important, then we practice. The harder we practice, the sooner we get closer to the state called Nirvana. Other than that, there are no special beings who can guide or direct us to the state called Nirvana according to the second method. And the second method says, the harder we practice, the sooner we get closer to the state called Nirvana. This is a battle against our feelings, our mind. So these are the differences between the Theravada and the Mahayana teaching. When we look at these differences, we can see the Theravada teaching seems a little bit stricter than the Mahayana method. So this is why I think most people like to, many people in the Buddhist world, they like to practice the Mahayana method, and it has become the main teaching method. So now we know these statues belong to the Mahayana method, and I am going to describe you these statues one by one. The main statue is the statue of the Buddha, and this is the tallest standing statue of the Buddha created on a rock after the destruction of the Burmese Buddha statues. Burmese Buddha statues were in Afghanistan. They were destroyed by the Taliban in 2001. Once they were destroyed, this statue became the tallest standing statue, 51 feet, 15.5 meters the height. And the Buddha's right hand, you can see, is held like this. This is a very special hand gesture, recognized as the bravery gesture. It signifies the fearlessness by the right hand. And to the left side of the statue of the Buddha, you see there are some remaining plaster together with the orange color. This is the plaster and the paint used to complete the statues. As you can see, some of the statues are not completed by the rock, so they believe these statues have been done up to some extent by the rock, and they have been completed using a thick layer of plaster being painted afterwards. So since the statues have been plastered and painted, they wanted to have a roof above the statues. Can you see there are over several holes just above the statues?
I see, yeah, okay.
So through these holes, they suggest there had been a roof in the past to protect the statues from the rain. But once the roof had been broken down, all the statues have been exposed to the rain and sun. This is the current state of the statues. After the statue of the Buddha, to the right side of the statue of the Buddha, there we can see 3 statues. According to the archaeological expert, they say this is the family concept of the Mahayana teaching. Should we get a little bit closer and have a closer look?
Sure.
Yeah. According to the expert, they say this is the family concept. And there we can see the only female figure there. This is the only female figure we can see here, and this female figure is called Goddess Tara. And the experts say this statue shows the beauty of a lady's figure because this figure is thrice bent from the knees, hips and the shoulders. So it shows the beauty of a lady's figure. And she's holding something by her left hand. About the object held by the left hand, there are 2 suggestions. One expert sees this object as a lotus flower held downward, and the other expert sees this object as a small container of water. No one knows exactly what is the exact object is. And she's the wife of the middle statue, and the middle statue is called Avalokiteshwaranath, the husband. And this statue has been created a little bit inside the rock, so it's been very well protected than the other statues from the rain. Lots of white area is the plaster, so lots of plaster is still intact. And this is the statue which has been very well detailed. The nails, lips, nose points, eyebrows being perfectly done. So this is the husband, Avalokiteshwaranath, and the goddess Tara is the wife. So this is the husband and wife. And the last statue which is left to us is the son. He is called Prince Sudan. And this Prince statue has been affected with some rainwater. You can see there is a line of algae. And this statue is holding something by the right hand. You can see there is an object, but about this object there are no suggestions by the archaeological expert, but he's holding something by the right hand. So this is the family concept of the Mahayana teaching. And you can see there are some special features. Can you see the shape of the rock from left to right looks like an elephant? Up to that point is the trunk,
Yes, I see
crown
that.
is the head. That's the
Yeah,
body. Yeah.
very good.
And there is another special feature close to the right elbow of the prince, 2.5 feet further left. Can you see there is a face of a lion close to the right elbow?
Yes.
You see that? It's another speciality.
Okay.
And the other speciality you can see just above the statues, there is a horizontal cutting line. This cutting line is called dripplage. It protects the statues when it rains. When it rains, the water comes along the rock to this cutting line, falls right in front of the statues without going along the statues. It was a very smart method used in the past to protect the statues. And the other specialty, you can see the feet of the statues are on a separate rock. They have not been able to get the feet from the main rock. They have used a separate rock to create the
With
feet.
you.
Yeah. And the most interesting place here, can you see close to the statue of the Buddha to the right side there is a small cave and there is a black spot inside.
Yes.
And about this place there is a belief among the locals. Local people believe in the past a special oil has come within the rock to this surface. So even today the locals who visit, they try to read this point, touch the oil area, touch their head to get a kind of a blessing, because they believe this oil can heal some of the illnesses. So this is something which is not allowed by the archaeological department. They say when we reach to this point over and over, it's going to damage the formation of the rock. Already they have done some damages by writing down the names and the dates they've been there. Yeah. So this is the story to the right side. Let's go to the left side. Carefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, we stay here.
Yes.
Okay, the left corner statue. To the left side of the statue of the Buddha, here we have three more statues. Let's start with the left corner statue. And this left corner statue is called Vajrapani. Vajrapani means the holder of the thunderbolt. You can see the thunderbolt is held by the right hand close to the right shoulder. Thunderbolt signifies the lightning, and the lightning signifies the determination of Prince Siddhartha, who became the Buddha for the last time, the 38th. His determination to stay focused on the meditation and finally attain the enlightenment. It says the Prince Siddhartha, who became the Buddha, had practiced 6 years of different meditational practices. Life must have been very hard, but he did not give up. He was keep practicing, and finally he attained the enlightenment. His determination is signified by this statue, and this statue is called Vajrapani, the holder of the thunderbolt. Thunderbolt signifies the lightning. And the second statue, or the middle statue, has 2 lotus flowers on the shoulders, 2 necklaces, and the middle part has been very well detailed. Now this is the awakened soul called Maitreya, will be the next Lord Buddha to come to the world in the future. Because in the Buddha's teaching, the last Lord Buddha stated that after a certain period of time, the Buddhism, the faith on the Buddhist philosophy would decrease to a certain standard, because of the acts executed by the monks who are meant to preserve the philosophy. Right now it is happening because there are some monks, they say that the Buddha did not say this, so it's okay to practice this. So they try to add something new to the Buddhism. So as a result, it says after a certain period of time, normally it says 5,000 years, the Buddhism would decrease, the popularity would decrease. Then to rejuvenate or revitalize the Buddhism, there would be another Buddha called Maitreya. He's living in the heaven called Tusita at the moment. When the time comes, he would be the next Lord Buddha to assist suffering beings to find the state called Nirvana, the middle figure. And the third figure, only the face we can see. And this third figure is called Manjushri, signifies the compassion and the wisdom of the Buddha. And we can see those left and right side statues are not completed by the rope. So they believe these statues may have been completed using a plaster like that and been painted. And they say there had been a roof to protect the statues from the rain. So they say these statues should belong to 7th or 9th centuries, and they also say the King Walagamba was the one who was believed to have done these statues. Nothing's been proven. So the most important thing is not the king or the time or the era. The most important thing is to receive the message. In the past, these ancient people, they wanted to send the message by creating these statues on the solid rock, so we just need to receive the message properly. The message says we are all traveling in a circle called samsara. In the circle of samsara, the human state is just another stop. In this stop, the life doesn't wait for so long. It's like 120 years, let's say maximum 100 years. In this 100 years, the time doesn't wait for us. It's being passed and we grow old. So the Buddha said this could be the one and only chance we enjoy the human state in this life, in the circle of samsara. So in this life, we should try to understand the reality in life, because right now we are lucky we have the Buddhism and we are in the good state, the human state. Even though the Buddha said so, most of the humans don't seem to have understood it, because we are the humans, the dominant creature. Since we are the dominant creature, we have we have ourselves, we have with us the law and order. We have the democracy. In this democratic environment, you and I, we feel we are totally safe. So most of the time, humans, they don't seem to have understood what the Buddha said. They don't want to practice what the Buddha said, because they feel they are safe. They are not, because they are also one part in the circle of samsara. And they are lucky to a certain extent, because they can practice, the humans can practice and they can understand it, the Buddhism, properly than the other animals. Because the animals in the wild, they don't even know how to practice and they don't know how to understand it. But they do feel the pain, danger and the suffering, because in the wild they don't have the law and order, they don't have the democracy, all they have is the food chain. In this food chain, they know what the suffering and the pain. But unfortunately, they don't know how to practice the Buddhist philosophy. So the Buddha said this is a very special state, the human state. We should try to understand the reality in life, because we born to the world alone, we die alone. So no one come in between these two ends to take us or direct us to a state called nirvana. We have to try our own. So thank you very much for letting me to talk to you, and I hope you have a rough idea about these statues and something about the philosophy as well. We can take some nice photos and we can walk down.
Thank you very much. That's been excellent. It's been a really good explanation. It's really, really helped. Thank you.
Sure.